Agree that compared to what Europe is doing, we are woefully far behind. We have to take care of our world. We have to take care of each other. We have to take care of the planet, and together we can make it happen. There are solutions out there.
And I think that a lot of people think that the sustainability agenda is an extra cost that will make it more expensive for the businesses, more expensive for the consumers. I think in Europe, we often see this as a business opportunity to make even more money.
And I agree. It all comes down to how you position the value add. We need to come up with the story that doesn't just come down to dollars and cents. If we don't have these solutions ready to go, if we're not implementing these best practices, if we're not sharing our knowledge with each other, as well as with the brands, the consumers are going to walk.
But I want to tell you a little story.
Yeah.
I have a daughter that also works in marketing, and she's 30 years old. And dear Christine, if you see this, I'm sorry that I take you into this discussion, but she runs a little business that's a side business for recycled furniture and, you know, these kind of antique things in Copenhagen. And she wanted to have some packaging material that was that looked like it was like sustainable. So she wanted to have something recycled paper. And I think a lot of people think of recycled paper as a natural and very good resource to have. But actually, you cannot evaluate 1000% the ingredients in a recycled paper. So therefore, a virgin paper is actually often way more sustainable. So, and she said, yeah, but you can't see it. So there's the visual to it. And that's sometimes what I fear a little bit when you talk about the storytelling, is how can we be sure that it's not just the, let's say, the greenwashing and how we look and how we appear, but that is actually changing something.
You can't just go from 0 to 100. You have to make these baby steps along the way. The first thing is to actually be committed to providing sustainable solutions, not just do lip service. And if you're preaching sustainability and, oh, we offer these eco-friendly solutions, and you're doing it because it is the sort of marketing thing to do, then own the fact that that's why you're doing it, and don't over promise that we are 100% thinking about sustainability if you are not looking at your carbon emissions, if you're not looking at your carbon footprint, if you're not, it goes beyond just recycled paper. That's just one tiny aspect, but at least it's a start.
We are starting at English, we're starting to make a series of all the things, because you mentioned carbon footprint. And it's kind of funny because I think a lot of printing companies and OEMs are offsetting the carbon emissions. But I think it's sometimes a little bit difficult to actually judge whether these offliftings are really real. Do you think that when you have walked the floor here, that sustainability is high enough on the radar? Because I can tell you that at Drupa, it was like green and sustainable and environmentally friendly everywhere, but I don't see it the same way here. Is it not as big a topic on a trade show in the printing industry?
I think it's a big enough topic, but I think you hit the nail on the head, Morten. Yes, you saw it at Drupa. Why? Drupa's in Europe. Now, so to your point, you're seeing a little bit of it, but you said earlier cost is a factor, and it's scary to think, oh, well, but it's going to cost me more to produce.
I talked to Paul Hudson from Hudson Printing the other day, actually yesterday. He is very keen on delivering solutions that are green. And then we started talking about it. It's like the paper, the ink, the energy consumption, the de-inking, the entire process. Let's say that you produce a product and then a Walmart type of company come and sue you because you are actually not delivering on what you thought you were delivering. That could make you liable, right? And therefore, of course, especially in America, where you also have maybe a little bit easier trigger when it comes to legal actions, maybe also something that plays a role here, right?
Absolutely. It is a very litigious country here. Coming from Canada, we recognize that. And you hit the nail on the head. If you make a false claim, well, nobody's shy. They're going to call you on it. And yes, it can cripple a company, it can put them out of business. Where are we going to be in 2030 in North America? And where is Europe going to be in 2030? And we should be paying attention. We don't have to make it up by ourselves. You guys are leading it. So we can learn from you and work together to come up with these solutions that make it easier and more affordable and more profitable for the manufacturers, for the PSPs. And then ultimately it's the brands who are going to benefit from it because the consumers will be happy.
At Drupa, I had an exchange, actually an interview with François Martin and Carlos Lahorst from HP. And it's quite interesting because they are working on a sustainability manifest that they will share with all manufacturers in the industry. So there will be a common manifest for what we can promise our consumers and our PSPs in the future. So I think that also there are things taking place in the industry that is vendor agnostic and that has this broader agenda. So I think that's a very good thing to know, at least. Spot on is always about whether you and I can agree or disagree. And I think we can agree on everything we spoke about today, right?
High five.
And what do we do?
High five. Thank you so much, Morten.
Likewise, Joanne.